All right, as you can see, it's early. The sun is starting to come up. It's gonna be a beautiful day out. It's supposed to be sunny all day. Firing up this big smoker here, like you all have seen me season and stuff on my other videos. I want to see how this thing cooks, so I'm gonna do a brisket today. I'm gonna hit it with little suckle busters, Texas rub. All right, I got this on the prep table here. What I'm gonna do is trim it up a little bit. I'm gonna take some of these big chunks of fat off of it. All right, I got the Suckle Busters Texas Rub Brisket. I'm gonna throw that on there. That's all I'm gonna use. I'm not gonna put a base or anything. I decided not to. This stuff smells pretty good. So this is a big cut of meat. It's gonna handle a lot of seasoning. So let's get this thing seasoned up. Let it hang out. Looks like this smoker is starting to get to the temp that I want. So once we can control that a little bit, I'll put this thing on, let the smoker do its job. For anybody that may not know, I always stick a piece of wood on the firebox and let it warm up before I put it on. So every time I switch a piece of wood or add a piece of wood to the firebox, I do this on my other offset smoker. It heats up the wood, helps the moisture thing, dries it out, whatever you want to call it, the whole process of that. So you see a piece of wood sitting up here all the time. Every time I put one on, I put one on up here. That will ensure that when you put this log on the fire, it will catch clean as possible. There won't be no white smoke. There won't be none of that stuff getting on your meat. So just a little tip, a little weekly knowledge. This is why I like living in the country. My wife has just informed me that there is some fresh Bologna bologna in the fridge, and it's lunchtime and this thing's got a long way to go. So did I mention my smoker has a stainless griddle on the firebox? Yep, we're doing this. That's how we do it. It's been 5 hours. I've just been managing the fire. The fire is what I expected it to be. I've used 5 or 6 pieces of wood, one piece every hour, every 45 minutes to an hour, and it's been burning great. But I'm gonna raise this thing up, see where it's at. It should be around kind of a darker reddish color, maybe a mahogany color. That's what color I want. If it's where I want it, I'm gonna pull it off and wrap it. Got the old meat gloves here. Makes handling this thing a lot better, and I don't have to dirty up my grill gloves. Man, oh man, look at that. Beautiful. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick my probe right in the center of the flat. Make sure it's on. Port 2. Right in the middle of that flat. You don't want to go crazy deep. That should work. All right, I'm showing 147. That's basically what it was whenever I tested it earlier. 148, that's perfect. I'm showing right there in port 2. That's where my thermometer is. I'm gonna select meat. Beef, I'm gonna take it to 190. And once it hits 190, I'm gonna start probe testing it. When it's tender, when it's butter, feels like butter going in, or peanut butter or whatever, probe test it. Start it at 190. Every 15 minutes after that, check it. Whenever it tests like butter, that's when it's done. It don't matter if it's 190. It don't matter if it's 210 or 220. When it's probe tested and it's like butter, that's when it's done. All right, a couple hours later, we're going off. We're at 190, so I'm gonna test it. Start probe testing it once it gets the way I want it, the temp, the feel of it. Then we'll pull it and let it rest. Still a little bit of resistance right there. It's still a little tight, so I'm not going to pull it right now. I'm just gonna let it keep cooking until I can put this thing in there with no resistance. I'll come back and check it again in 15 minutes. We're tender all the way through it. I'm calling it. Yep, that got it. And what I'm gonna do is I just got this towel. I'm just gonna put it right over top of it. That'll help keep some of the sunlight off of it too. I'm just gonna kind of tuck this towel underneath this side here. You can see the shadow right here. I'm gonna push it right there, just so it's out of the direct sunlight. And I'm gonna let that thing rest for probably an hour. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you, that's about all I'm gonna give it, because that's about all I can give it. But the hardest part is the most important part, is waiting for Cooker's Reward. You have to wait on that thing. That way you don't lose no juices. Quick recap. We got a prime brisket, 14.5 pounds. I got this new smoker. It's a giant beast. I wanted to see how it cooked because I got a pig roast coming up. But I fired it up with some oak wood, started it with some lump charcoal from Royal Oak. Got this 14.5 pound brisket. It's a prime brisket. Trimmed it up a little bit, not a whole lot. Hit it with the Suckle Busters Texas brisket rub and cooked it for 5 hours. Unwrapped, got the color I wanted from it, wrapped it in foil, put it back on, and then took it to probe test. What I mean by probe test is whenever I put the probe in to test it, it went in like butter. It ended up around 206. So I ran the smoker at around 225 to 250 in the beginning. And once I wrapped it, I cranked it up to like 300 or 400 and just finished it off. This is the result. Let's unwrap this thing and see what we got. Oh my. Look at that beauty. Anybody worried about it? Yes, I have sanitized this table. You can see where I made my mark here, where I cut it on the end. That tells me what kind of slices I want. Let's slice into it. That is perfect. Whew. Hot, hot, hot. Let's use the glove here. Tell me that ain't perfect. Pulls apart. Let's see it happen. Look at that. I mean, perfect. You know I gotta try it. Cooker's reward. I've been working on this all day and I'm ready for it. My God. Man, just cube that up. Throw some sauce on it. Man, look at that. All the juices. Like Deadpool said, now for the time I've all been waiting for. Man, that rub gives it a textbook flavor like you would expect from a brisket. I'm happy. I mean, it came out perfect. The smoker did great. Cannot wait for the pig roast. Hey, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, hit the like button, share this video. Till next time, thanks y'all.